All right, let's explore this. Imagine stepping into just this sprawling green wonderland, an oasis of biodiversity smack dab in the middle of a city. That's exactly where we're headed in this deep dive. Our focus today is the National Sejong Arboretum, a really remarkable place in South Korea. We've got a fantastic stack of sources here, detailed guides on public transport, visitor reviews, essential tips on pretty much everything from admission to audio guides.
Yeah, and what's really insightful, I think, is how these sources, they don't just give you like dry facts. They really paint a full picture, from the practical stuff, like how to get there, right up to the actual experience of exploring the Arboretum itself. It's all about making sense of that info for, well, a smooth visit.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is basically to boil all that down, find the most important nuggets of knowledge, the key insights, give you a shortcut to being really well informed about this unique spot, whether you're actually planning a trip or maybe you're just curious about these kinds of botanical wonders. So, okay, let's start with just the sheer scale of this place. The sources tell us it's roughly 200,000 payong, which translates to, wow, a massive 650,000 square meters. I mean, just to picture that, it's like 10 times the size of Seoul World Cup Stadium.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just huge. And it brings up a really interesting point. Like, what did the sources say it means for an arboretum this big to be Korea's first urban-style one? What actually makes it different?
Yeah, good question. And that seems central to, what it is. The sources really stress its design as this accessible nature spot right in the city. It's got this huge collection, something like 2,800 plant species. They're housed in all these different themed areas. We're talking the seasonal exhibition greenhouse, a Korean traditional garden, bonsai garden, children's garden, even a greenhouse for rare and endemic plants. So yeah, it's definitely set up for city folks to connect with nature easily.
Okay, so for a lot of us, getting to a place that big without a car can seem a bit tricky. How do the sources guide us on public transport? If you're taking a bus, it's pretty simple. Arrive at Sejong Express Bus Terminal, grab bus 221, and it's about 40 minutes straight there. But what if you're coming by train? To Osong Station, do the sources mention any hitches there? Is that transfer easy?
Ah, right. That's where it gets a little more, well, layered.
Yeah.
But totally doable once you know the drill. From Osong Station, yeah, there's no direct bus. It's a two-step thing. First, you hop on a connecting BRT bus, that's Bus Rapid Transit, specifically B1, B2, B3, or B4. You take that to Government Complex Sejong, and then you transfer to Bus 221 from there. The whole trip takes about, say, 40 to 50 minutes total. The sources definitely stress planning ahead, though, because that 221 bus, it runs about every 30 minutes.
Okay, 30 minutes. Good to know. And what about the actual transfer at Osong? Any practical tips there from the sources, like finding the stop?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. At Osong Station, the BRT stop is right at exit 7. And apparently, a good hint is just follow the crowd.
Hmm.
Lots of people seem to head towards Government Complex Sejong. Oh, and the source also points out that B1, B2, B3, B4, they all take the same route to the government complex and the bus terminal from Osong, so any of those will do the trick. Now, here's a little detail about the fare structure that's interesting. Because Osong Station is technically in Cheonju, and the Arboretum's in Sejong, it counts as an intercity fare for those BRT buses. Costs 2,300 Korean won using a transportation card for that Sejong to Osong leg. But A plus is you get up to 3 transfers within 30 minutes on that fare. And, the sources did mention the queues at Osong are clearly marked, which is great. And they praise how readable the B2 and B4 timetables were. Makes you wonder if they're all that clear, maybe during busy times. Still, it sounds like they're trying to make it pretty user-friendly.
Right. Seems manageable. Now let's shift to the practical stuff that can really make or break a visit. When is this green paradise actually open?
Okay, so it's open Tuesday to Sunday. Closed Mondays, makes sense. Also closed January 1st, Lunar New Year's Day, that's Seollal in Korea, and Chuseok, which is like Korean Thanksgiving. Summer hours, March through October, are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Last entry is at 5 p.m. And then in winter, November to February, it closes an hour earlier. So 5 p.m. close, last entry at 4 p.m.
Got it. And getting in, what's the the cost of admission?
Right. For adults, it's 5,000 Korean won,
Hmm.
which is what, roughly $4 US? Honestly, that seems like really good value for a place you could spend hours in. There are discounts, too, for youth and kids. And certain groups under 6s, over 55, Sejong City residents, multicultural families, they either get in free or get 50% off. So, yeah, it seems like they want people to come. Oh, and there's even an annual membership, 30,000 won, gets you free entry and discounts at the cafes. Pretty good deal if you think you'll go often.
Definitely. Speaking of hours, that size 650,000 square meters, that's huge. What do the sources say about managing your time and maybe more importantly, your hunger?
Yeah, that's a really key point. Exploring properly can easily take 3, maybe even 4 hours. So eating before you go, or definitely bringing snacks, is highly recommended. Now, there are places to eat on-site restaurants and 3 eMart 24 convenience stores, but it's worth knowing the one inside the seasonal exhibition greenhouse. It only sells snacks and bread, not like fresh food or cup ramen like the ones outside. So yeah, plan your meals.
Okay, good intel. Another really practical tip that jumped out at me from the visitor reviews was about luggage. What did they say about that?
Oh yeah, they were very specific on this. There's free storage, which is great. That's at the General Information Center right near the main entrance. And one review was really clear.
Hmm.
Use that one. Don't use the one in the seasonal greenhouse because the place is just so big, you really won't want to hike all the way back across the grounds just to get your stuff. Small detail, but sounds like it makes a big difference to your day.
Absolutely. And what about enhancing the visit itself beyond just looking at plants? Any like must-have apps or cool amenities we should know about?
Definitely. The sources really push downloading the Guidean app for the audio guide. It's about 55 MB, so maybe download it beforehand. But it offers these incredibly detailed stories about the plants. One visitor called it really, really very useful, which, given how much you might use your phone with the app, bringing a portable power bank, essential. Oh, and here's a fantastic little extra, free rainbow umbrellas. You can rent them at the entrance and inside the seasonal greenhouse. One visitor mentioned how vital they were against the hot sun. Shows how those small comforts can really improve a long visit, right?
Totally. Free umbrellas are always a win. And for people who like interactive stuff, I saw something about a stamp tour.
Yeah, there's a stamp tour workbook you can pick up at the information center, collect all the stamps around the Arboretum, and you get a C card at the end. Options like balsam, cherry tomato, or basil for the little souvenir. And always keep your ticket. Re-entry on the same day is allowed.
So basically, remember your power bank, grab an umbrella, maybe do the stamp tour.
Got it. Okay, beyond the practical side, what really stands out? What are the absolute must-sees that the sources kept mentioning? Well, the seasonal exhibition greenhouse is definitely a major draw. Everyone talks about it. Our sources mention it's designed in the shape of an iris flower. How cool is that? And inside, you've got these different zones, like the Mediterranean greenhouse and the tropical greenhouse. One visitor described it as exotic and mysterious. So they even went through it twice. So it's like, stepping into different worlds under one roof.
An iris-shaped greenhouse. Wow, that sounds incredible. What else did the sources highlight as really captivating?
Another really cool feature is the special exhibition hall. The theme changes frequently. One recent exhibit they mentioned was called Mysterious Magic Plant Dictionary. Apparently had this fun sort of Harry Potter vibe, and they even had free wizard costumes for adults and kids that you could rent for photos. Sounds like a great photo spot. And the fact that it changes, 2 or 3 times a year, gives you a reason to go back. Wizard costumes. Okay, that's fun. And what about the Korean traditional garden? That sounds like a really unique blend of culture and nature.
It absolutely is. And definitely another must-see, according to the reviews. It features this pavilion called Sejong. It's a beautiful traditional Korean hanok building. One visitor wrote about just sitting there, enjoying the cool breeze, feeling like a yangban, a traditional Korean nobleman. It was really highlighted as a spot for tranquility and just, well, beauty, an absolute must visit.
Sounds lovely. Are there other ways for visitors to learn more or deepen their appreciation while they're actually there? Yeah, for sure. To really get more out of it, the Arboretum offers free guided tours. These are specifically within the seasonal exhibition greenhouse. They're about 30 minutes long, run 3 times a day, Tuesday to Sunday, and they cover themes like, stories about the Mediterranean and tropical plants. They recommend booking online beforehand, but you might be able to join on the spot if there's room. Seems like a great way to get those little aha moments about what you're looking at. Oh, and even if you go in colder weather. One visitor went in February. Said while the outdoor areas were obviously a bit sparse, the indoor exhibits, like a camellia display that apparently had a really strong fragrance, still offered plenty to see. So it's not just a summer destination.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you, our listener? We've kind of journeyed through this huge, vibrant national Sejong Arboretum, from figuring out the buses to uncovering those hidden gems and practical tips. It's clearly designed as this deep dive into the plant world, full of knowledge, but also these unexpected fun touches.
Yeah, stepping back a bit, what it all shows, I think, is that whether you're someone who plans every detail or you're more of a spontaneous explorer, the Arboretum really seems to offer a rewarding experience. It's kind of a testament to how knowledge, when it's curated and presented well, can turn just a simple visit into, a much richer adventure.
Definitely. And considering the Arboretum's design, that iris-shaped greenhouse, the themed exhibitions, the traditional garden, it makes you think, how might that kind of intentional artistic design actually elevate how we interact with nature, moving beyond just, observing to something more